So you want to look for nades on who? On whom?
Backline.
Backline. Okay. Who do we sleep?
Ball.
Who do we shoot?
Squishies.
Yeah,
But
exactly.
anyone.
Anybody, right? I think for you, it's like the way we want to keep that space is like you were saying, is keep the pressure up. We just need to, you're right, 100%. We need to offensively put out as much pressure as you possibly can to make sure that it's very uncomfortable and very difficult for them to take space, whether that's nading backline, shooting tracers, sleeping ball, and so on. And you need to always be in a position to where that's possible. Hey guys, this is going to be a quick little segment on Ana, but it really applies to all supports. How do you actually win games as a support? Well, it comes down to pressure, putting out offensive or defensive pressure to either help your team continue to put out pressure by keeping them alive or by putting out direct pressure by yourself. Now, this isn't exactly something revolutionary, but I hope the way that I structure this session will help you to understand and maybe think about your game a little bit more in detail. As always, if you have any questions, please let me know in the comments and enjoy the video.
Yeah, our ball takes a lot of poke here.
Yeah, I think as well, a little minor thing here. Actually, that's not that minor. I would try to get a nade out as quickly as I could here. It's like right here. Like, I think that the nade needs to hit now. On either Brig, Sojourn, Zen, or both. 2 of the 3, you know? Because if these guys are allowed to hold this position, I think they're going to just bleed your backline dry. Part of that is because I don't like how we're all stacked here. And again, I would like to control an off angle here. But I do think we need to get the nade out because you're not going to be able to keep these guys up if they hold this position here. You know what I'm saying? So hit the nade, and then that will make healing things up easier. Even if you don't follow up off of the nade, that pressure will take some of the heat off of your team. Like, this Sojourn's just allowed to play in this position. You know what I'm saying? Like, how?
Yeah.
And then there's our defensive nade, but now it's like it's a snowball that's too late. You know? Like, the snowball started. It's going to be really hard to stop. But this is good. Good shot. Like, yeah, that's a brilliant shot right there. Nice shot.
Thanks.
That's a fight winner right there. Because that even if that Zen doesn't die, they're freaking out, you know, peeling off, and they're not shooting anything. That's what we kind of need. Take the heat off.
I guess that is a problem where I really do like going for aggressive nades, but I think what holds me back a little maybe is I'm scared of just nading and then something is going to happen where I need nade and then I'm going to throw.
Well, it's all about pressure, right? Like, which one is going to either alleviate or put out more pressure. And that's why offensive nades usually matter more, is because the ante is generally better than the 50% increased healing. So for you, I guess, like, if you were to go through this fight again and pick out every time that you could have naded offensively, you would need to ask yourself, would that be enough pressure from nade? Because the opposite problem could be that you just throw nade in anything that you see and you miss half of them, and half of them are too early before the fight's even started, and half of them don't even do that much pressure. You know, you nade the ball, you know, it's like stuff like that where you're like, okay, that doesn't do enough pressure. But if you actively look at your own replay codes and you're only focusing on, does that nade actually put out good pressure? That's like the check mark, right? Check mark, check mark, check mark, check mark, check mark, right?
Yeah.
That's what I'd be looking for. And it sounds like such a simple thing to do, but you can already see it. Even at this level, you're not doing it. You're not doing it consistently enough. There's low-hanging fruit with what you're doing with your nades, right? There's so much more pressure out there that would indirectly support your team better than what you're doing. Like right now, like if you sit here, you can nade peel off your Zen. But if you sit here, that's going to allow their Briggs and Sojourn to play more aggressively than they should, which might indirectly enable their DPS and discord your backline, and he dies anyway. So right now, if the fight is starting, and it is starting, the nade on backline is the highest return on investment for your nade. Or even a nade on, let's say, if you were able to get this tracer, the tracer dives, you nade yourself, you force recall. That's a positive return on investment for your nade, right? That's kind of what we need to be looking for, right? So I assume that's why we're here, so that's good. Now, do we hit it?
Uh-oh, he's so low.
Okay. It's kind of funny, though, because even for the offensive return on investment applies to healing as well, right? What matters more right now, a shot on ball or a shot on Sojourn? You know?
Yeah.
Now, this is a split-second decision that you had to make, but obviously this shot here is extremely low return on investment.
Yeah.
This shot here is extremely high. So we sometimes get sucked into this mindset that we should always be. It's like we're like counterculture support mains, you and I, right?
Yeah.
Offensive, kill, threaten, support, not a healer, right? ML7 got famous saying that, but anyone with a brain has been knowing that for years, right? So support, not a healer, but then we see it right here where, okay, this is the best thing that we could be supporting right now. This shot matters more than this shot, right? And then as soon as she's close to full, then we go back and put out our offensive pressure. But even then, if we had the reaction speed to do so, who would be shooting offensively right now?
I would be shooting the tracer even.
Right, not the ball. Better return on investment. The percentage of the HP is greater for her than it is for ball. It's going to matter a lot more if you shoot the tracer offensively than it's going to matter if you shoot the ball. So even from the offensive counterculture, kill hungry on a main, we still are shooting the wrong target. But the big thing here is that we want to heal here because the heal is more valuable than the damage right now. And obviously, hindsight here, this is a very quick engage, so it's difficult to make that read. But ultimately, that bad decision is then ironically what forces you to nade or try to nade defensively here, which then means that we can no longer nade offensively. So we make one bad investment, which now leads to a second bad investment and a third bad investment and so on. And then that's how we will lose this fight. You see that?
Yeah.
Yeah. Now, obviously, there's a lot more that goes into this than just you. Your Zenyatta's decision-making, your your Wrecking Ball's decision-making, your Tracers, and so on. But at least from your standpoint, we can kind of see what you could have done better, right? But better return on investment with your pressure. Everything comes back to return on investment. Everything comes back to pressure.